is quite chunky, but it's also very smooth in terms of its geometry. So I think it'd be quite easy to swallow because it'd go down quite smooth, and also because it's got the very thin. Would that be a C pillar? It'd be quite easy to bite down on and crunch through because it's not low profile and it's not a thick piece of metal. I think that would be quite. It's big. That would be the hard part. That would be your choking part. But yeah, no. I think I have about 100 Hot Wheels, so I'm not going to do them all. In fact, I definitely have more than 100 Hot Wheels. A few of the packages got a bit wet when I was moving, or damp. So next we've got an 89 Mercedes 560 SL, SEL, SEC AMG. This is nice and long, quite low profile, nothing too spiky on it. So, I mean, lengthwise, that wouldn't be too bad to swallow. It's not particularly wide. The issue is this one's still in the packaging. Does it actually say choking? I assumed it had a choke. Small parts may be generated, so it doesn't directly say that there's a choking hazard. But in my head I thought it did. Either way, I'm still going with this idea because I've already started. So yeah, I think that would probably be easier to swallow or eat than the van. Although, size-wise, you've got a little more length. You've got about 5 mil longer. But soon, you've got about 5 mil longer, maybe 3 mil smaller, 2 mil smaller. So you've got to get more in. You've got to be more of a throat go. But you'd have to have the width. I'm trying to. This is the prime example of something difficult to swallow. This is an ST170 a Ford Focus, but it's like a boy racer edition with a big gear wing on the back. If you're not into cars, big gear wing is a fine term. I'm not being homophobic this time, but this was sick. I got this as a kid in a pack of I don't know what they were called, but it was like a boy racer edition. These are super popular in England, like the actual car itself. But big gear wing makes it hard to swallow because it's a bit prongy. So I reckon you might have some issues. Try to swallow that. I wish it had the headlights on, other than just on the painted make it go down quite easily. It's not too long, and yeah, it's nice and low profile, a little spiky at the front, a little jabby, but it's not excessively sharp. So yeah, quite dropping down. The wing follows the roof line nicely, so it's not sticking out like it was on the Focus. Yeah, it might be a bit harder if you swallowed it. If you swallowed it from the rear, it might be a bit harder to eat. But this would be a straight swallow because like it's more solid metal. So you couldn't really, I don't think you could break that roof line with your teeth. Whereas on the van, I think you could break the roof if you really went for it. Here we go, that's something that's hard to swallow. Nissan Patrol. And I'm guessing they base the model on one of the people who have done like the RB swaps, because it's got the little twin turbos sticking out. Yeah, Nissan Patrol Custom. Can you tell? I can't tell if there's enough data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they might have used, I don't. Oh no, it's an inline, so it can't be because it's a V6. So yeah, that's meant to be an RB's. Yeah, an RB swapped Patrol. So that's the engines from like the Skylines, because the GTR had a V6, so it's not GTR engine. But that would be hard to swallow. It's big, although it would roll a bit. That's just chunky. You've got a lot of width to it as well, like the wheels stick out. They've got a nice bit of poke. The screamer pipes from the turbos as well, they might cut you up if they catch, but the roof line's so much higher anyway. I think you're going to have trouble before that. That is a choking hazard, but you'd get a little bit of air past underneath, so you'd be choking, but you might still get air. Here we go. Got a Mustang, a funny car. Now, again, still in box, but the box is a little bit fucked up. I don't really keep them in box, so I'm not bothered. I'm not trying to sell these, so I'm not trying to. I just buy the ones that I like. So, again, it's quite narrow actually, if you can see that. But at the rear it does get quite tall. So, if I put the back ends together, the rear end isn't. The rear end's maybe a mil lower than the Nissan Patrol, and I don't know how well it picks up on there, but the rear wing, rear spoiler, the canards at the side, the end plates are quite sharp, so I think there's quite a risk of, like in your gullet, that might be a bit slicey. Also the ram intake on the throttle bodies at the front, the flycatcher throttle bodies, they might be a bit spiky as well. Quite sharp, that's a risk. So if you're going to feed your toddler Hot Wheels, I wouldn't feed it this one